Cutting calories, doing a lot of cardio, killing yourself at the gym, all of that is super hard, requires a lot of discipline, and quite honestly, doesn't really work. Sure, you might lose some weight at first, but these strategies make you lose muscle, lower your metabolism, and eventually kill your resolve, leading you back to old habits that cause you to gain weight and gain back even more weight than you initially lost. But here's the thing, certain healthy habits almost make it too easy to achieve your fat loss and wellness goals. These are habits that turn off hunger, ramp up fat loss, and really make you feel awesome. So today I'm sharing 13 simple and practical healthy habits that give you an unfair advantage for your weight loss and wellness goals. Let's dive into it. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance. On my channel, I share the science-backed and delicious information to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness dreams without counting calories. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Today's video is also sponsored by Element, but more on them in a bit. Okay, the first simple healthy habit is a nightly magnesium supplement. Now, poor quality sleep is directly tied to weight gain around the belly. When you get bad sleep, it also causes you to increase your hunger hormone the next day, making you crave sugary, starchy sweets. It also increases your insulin resistance, which makes it harder for you to burn fat as fuel, and it increases your stress hormone cortisol, which can drive you even further to craving those sugary treats. Magnesium is one really important mineral that helps us to get really high quality deep sleep, and most people are severely lacking in it. This is why I personally take a magnesium supplement every single night. That way I can really maximize for high quality deep sleep. There's a couple different ways to do it. You can take something like a magnesium cap, or you can take more of a whole food supplement. Either way, I'll have a couple of my favorites linked down description below. Okay, the second super simple healthy habit is to meal prep high protein, high fiber overnight oats. This solves a lot of problems that people have on their weight loss journey, especially related to time. And I can totally relate, especially being a mom of two and having my own business and still wanting to be able to do things like working out in the morning. Having a simple meal prepped high protein, high fiber breakfast like high protein overnight oats makes it so simple to maintain a healthy breakfast routine. Now, not all overnight oats are created equal. It's super important that you make sure you are having a high protein and high fiber overnight oats, or if you're super carb sensitive, you could use a chia pudding instead. I recently shared my high protein overnight oats recipe that the community is loving. It has 45 grams of protein, 12 grams of fiber to make sure that you feel so satisfied from your meal while also supporting specifically a fat loss goal. I literally make 5 days worth of breakfast in 5 minutes. It's amazing. And cleanup is simple. I'll have that recipe linked right up here as well if you want to check it out, and in the description below. Okay, the third is to always have canned beans in the pantry. Or if you're like me, you could use dried beans and lentils. This is what I personally prefer. But canned beans is more realistic for a lot of people because it's just a lot easier. And eating beans every day is one reason that I was able to very easily lose 15 pounds with my recent postpartum weight loss journey without counting a single calorie and without feeling hungry at all. Beans are really high in fiber. 1 cup of black beans has about 18 grams of fiber, which is a lot. That's more than what most people get in an entire day. And fiber helps to stretch out your stomach, which signals to your brain that you're full and you're satisfied and you don't need to keep eating. And when you don't feel hungry, it's a lot easier to maintain your goals. And if you always have some canned beans in the pantry, then you can add this to pretty much any meal for an instant boost of fiber. Okay, the fourth healthy habit is to wait 4 hours between your meals to eat. Essentially, this means to cut out snacking. This helps turn on the gut cleaning process called the migrating motor complex, which cleans out the gut, prevents bloating, and helps decrease inflammation in the GI tract. Plus, when we don't snack between meals, it allows our storing hormone insulin to dip down between meals, which then helps our body to turn on fat burning when we aren't eating. Which does lead me to the fifth tip, and that's to eat until satisfied, which honestly, like, how easy is that? A lot easier than trying to restrict yourself. And this is really the only way to go about that fourth tip of waiting 4 hours between meals is to actually eat until satisfied. Because if you don't eat until satisfied from the right types of foods that are rich in protein, fat, and fiber, then you're going to be hungry in between meals. You're going to experience a blood sugar crash. You're going to crave sugar, which will make waiting between meals essentially impossible. It's so much better for long-term weight loss and wellness goals to fuel up properly on protein, fat, and fiber that helps to signal to the brain you're full and satisfied. And I know that can seem like a weird concept if you're not used to feeling full while also losing weight. But there are these hormonal actions that happen within our body that really do make it so you can feel satisfied and still burn fat as fuel. In fact, this is actually something that I share in extreme detail on exactly how to do it in my new book, How to Eat. It's my first published book. I love it so much. There's so much science-backed information in there on how to achieve your weight loss and wellness goals without counting calories and while feeling satisfied and eating foods that you love. There's also 90 delicious recipes to help support your journey. My book is officially released on December 16th, so you can order it right now on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever. I'll have it linked down description below. Really great resource for kicking off the new year with sustainable, healthy tools that support your goals. Okay, the sixth really easy habit is to use electrolytes. When you're not hydrated and when you have imbalanced electrolytes, it can actually lead you to craving ultra-processed salty foods like potato chips because your body does need electrolytes in order to literally send signals from your brain to your rest of your body. So if you're low on these essential electrolytes, then you'll start to seek out foods that do have high levels of sodium. And usually this isn't going to be from the healthiest of items, like the tortilla chips, like potato chips, or other ultra-processed foods. And studies have found that when we eat ultra-processed foods, this can lead us to eat about an extra 800 calories per day, which is not going to be supportive of a fat loss goal. So instead, I like to make sure that I'm getting my electrolytes every single day, which is why I love today's sponsor, Element. Element is my favorite electrolyte company. I've been using them since 2021. Element was created with intermittent fasting, low carb eating, and whole food eating in mind. It actually contains the sodium, magnesium, and potassium to help balance electrolyte levels, all without having any sugar. And the thing that I really love about Element is that it does make it so easy to remember to get my electrolytes because it tastes so good. It comes in a lot of different flavors like the citrus, orange, raspberry. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I am obsessed with the grapefruit salt as well as now the lemonade salt. That one is so refreshing. But they even have chocolate versions that you can add into hot water, which is great as a hot chocolate alternative that doesn't have any added sugar. And you can get a free 8-count sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase at drinkelement.com/autumn. Find your favorite Element flavor or share it with a friend. This is only available through my link, so make sure to check out drinklmnt.com/autumn. The link is also description down below. Okay, the next tip is to have your phone on do not disturb mode. I have my phone chronically on do not disturb mode. And if you don't know how to get there, you just swipe down from the top right corner of your phone, and then you can see there's this little section that says do not disturb. It looks like a little moon, and you just tap it. So I already have mine in do not disturb. I literally always have my phone on do not disturb. And this is important because it helps to keep your cortisol levels in check. Every time we get a notification on our phone, whether it be positive or negative, we get this little spike in our stress hormone cortisol. Now, if this were just like a couple of notifications, like a phone call here and there, wouldn't be a problem. But most of us have a lot of notifications coming all day through our phone. It could be the Ring app. It could be Facebook. It could be YouTube. It could be your email or your phones or your text. All of these little alerts that pop up all throughout the day compound in these little cortisol spikes that we also get all throughout the day. When we have higher levels of cortisol, it is directly tied to weight gain around the belly as well. So we want to get more balanced cortisol and we don't want it excessively spiked throughout the day. That's why I like to keep my phone on do not disturb. So I'm not constantly seeing these unnecessary notifications pop up. And a pro tip, you can let your family members know that you are on do not disturb and to call your phone twice, and that breaks through do not disturb mode if it is an emergency. Okay, the 8th tip is to try sipping on spiced bone broth. When I do need a little something between my meals because I didn't eat enough at my last meal, this is usually what I'm going to be reaching for. And it is quite satisfying and it tastes so good. It's actually a recipe that is featured from my new book, How to Eat. And I did share it recently on my YouTube channel. I'll have it linked up here. I'll also have it linked in a blog post down description below if you want to check it out. So good and so many amazing health benefits. Okay, the 9th habit is to use a walking pad. This is a crazy, ridiculously easy way to get more steps in. Most people are really inactive, or maybe they work out in the morning and then they sit all day at their desk job, and that can make us more insulin resistant. It can make it harder to burn fat as fuel, and it can lead to poor posture and unnecessary aches and pains. So the goal is to move more frequently when possible, and I love using a walking pad for this reason, especially ever since becoming a mom, and I no longer can go on my hour-long lunch break walks. I'll share the one that I use and love because it folds, so it's great for storage. I'll have that link down description below if you also want to check it out. Okay, number 10 is daily protein coffee. This is such an easy hack if you have a hard time hitting your daily protein needs, because protein is crucial for feeling full and satisfied and for preventing muscle loss while primarily burning fat as fuel. So it's amazing for body recomposition. This automatically gives you 18 grams of complete protein, 0 added sugar, but tastes like a creamy vanilla latte. So good. I recently absolutely perfected this recipe. So if you also want to check that out, linked right up here. In fact, all of the resources will be linked down description below. Okay, number 11 is to meal plan. I'm not saying meal prep. You don't have to prep everything for the week, but at least going into the week with a plan, because when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you don't plan out your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner for the week, at least for during the week when you're typically most busy, inevitably you're going to reach for something fast and convenient, and that usually means something that is not supportive of your goals, whether it be wellness or weight loss. So what I like to do is plan out my meals on either Friday night or Saturday morning. I usually pick one breakfast for the week, 1 to 2 lunches for the week, and then I like to switch it up every night for a different dinner. I plan it in the notes section of my phone, and then I go grocery shopping on Saturday. So that way, if I do need to prep anything for the week, I can do that on Sunday. And then I know going into the week exactly what I'm going to eat. I have all of the ingredients ready, and I can make delicious meals that support my goals, which does lead me to the 12th habit, and that's to cook most of your food from home. This is a very underrated tool that does make achieving a fat loss and a wellness goal so much easier. Eating mostly ultra processed foods is linked to eating about an extra 800 calories per day. When you cook from home, you're automatically cutting out most of the ultra processed ingredients. This eliminates the need for that extra discipline of trying to restrict yourself from eating those extra 800 calories a day. And you can make your meals as simple or as complicated as you want. There are some days where I am quite simple. And then there's other days where I want to be a little fancier. I'll have a slow cooked bolognese, or I'll make a whole roast chicken. Not every day, but some days are like that. But regardless, I'm still cooking my meals from home and making it so I can effortlessly achieve my goals without having to actively restrict. And I highly recommend getting inspired with different cookbooks, with different meal plans. Obviously, I have my How to Eat book that has a ton of different recipes. I have all my different meal plans as well that have so many different delicious and simple recipes that community members from all around the world have used to help them achieve their weight loss and wellness dreams. But just get inspired, test out different things that look interesting to you or just that look simple and doable for the week. Okay, number 13 is using a nightly ginger lemon tea. This helps to reduce bloating, improve digestion, and prevent snacking on something sugary. Ginger specifically turns on the gut cleaning process called the migrating motor complex. It's one of the few foods that can actually do that. In fact, it is so effective that it is often used in treating SIBO. The lemon in the ginger lemon tea also helps to support stable blood sugar levels, and sipping on this tea gives you something to do after dinner, because I know that a lot of people struggle with those after dinner at nighttime snacking. And I found that by having this tea, it's almost like it gives your hands something to do so that you're not reaching to the pantry for snacks that don't support your goals. And it's really easy to make. All you do is chop up some fresh ginger, some lemon, let it simmer in some water for about 10 minutes, and you're good to go. Now, if your goal is to lose body fat this year in a sustainable and healthy way, make sure you check out this video next with how I went from 30% to 22% body fat without counting calories. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed and delicious information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.